Man, yo, thanks for stop. Hold on, I got another question for you too, and it has to, because you talked about Melo returning to the Knicks, right?
I did.
Listen, I love Obi. First and foremost, I love Obi. I would be heartbroken if Obi left, for real. Obadiah for life. Like, for me, if there was a trade for Donovan Mitchell, Obi has to stay in it, right? But there's been rumors that if a Donovan Mitchell trade happens, that Randle will be shipped out. And, you know, to me, that's going to leave the door open for Carmelo Anthony. Because to me, I'm like, if Carmelo's here, I don't want him stepping over Obi's minutes because we need that man to fly. So I guess this is a two-part question. Have you heard anything about any, involvement with Randle being shipped out? And then also, how do you feel like the Melo returning to the New York Knicks is closer to happening this season than previous seasons?
So what you said about Randle potentially being shipped if Donovan Mitchell comes, that's what I've heard. I got a text about it over the weekend. Whenever I tweeted that stuff about Melo and the Knicks, that was part of it in the conversations that I was having with people. But as you know, the NBA is very fluid and things do change rapidly.
Right.
What I can tell you as it relates to Randle is I know that he and Thibs have not always seen eye to eye, but personally, I'd like to see him stay. I think that if you're a forward and you play in Thibs' system, the two positions that benefit immensely is the power forward position and the point guard position you play alongside Thibs.
Right.
And as long as you play defense, as long as you hustle, you don't quit, you don't give up, you're going to get your touches, you're going to get your minutes, and you're going to get that bag. But I think if Randle were to be moved, you give up that versatile 3, 4, 5 spot, and you need something to replace it. Melo, to your second questions, would make logical sense from a familiarity perspective, from a skill set perspective, and basically I think more specifically during his time in Portland, he played a similar role in Portland that Julius played with the Knicks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to me it would make sense. From a basketball intelligence standpoint, what I will tell you is, from folks that are in the know, Melo does want to be close to his son, who's entering his sophomore year at Christ the King High School.
Makes sense.
And for Melo and just his relationship to his son, it means a lot to him. And so I would imagine that over the last couple of years, where you've gone from Portland to Los Angeles, and your son is getting a little older, you want to find that balance. There are some other teams who have either had slight interest or some interest, in addition to the Knicks. There's been a standstill with the Lakers specifically because new coach, but also they filled some of those roles that Melo would fit similarly. But there are some other positions or other teams that would make logical sense, namely the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, so that.
And I think that particularly his veteran leadership, it would be something that would be welcome. And if he's looking to get a ring, this would be an optimal time to do it in case the Warriors do potentially have the chance to repeat as champions next season.
Yeah, I feel like this is the time, man. I would love Melo. I would love Melo back. Hey, man, Michael Beasley, if we had room for him, because who knows what's going to happen, I would love him back. But ultimately, for me, when it comes to Julius Randle, like, he's a talent. I believe it. But I'm scared of his volatility at this point, man. I'm not sure if mentally he can handle the pressure of being in New York long term. So even though I recognize how good he is, like, if we can move him, I know Miami's supposed to be a guy who's supposed to be in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. They just tweeted they're looking for a 4. I know a 4. All right, give us a couple of picks. That's the way I'm thinking in my mind. You know what I mean? So, and especially to me, Obi, he has some growing to do on the rebounding end. But given more time, I just love the way he instinctively has like a basketball feel, the way he moves the ball. The way he runs. Yeah, exactly. He
doesn't hurt you. He gives me Amari vibes.
Yeah.
Mixed with Anthony Mason.
Yeah. Like he just needs that guard to kind of unlock him, so he can start to do his thing. And we need to run more pick and roll for him. We've been saying it for years. We had him use him as a spot up 3-point shooter, and then people were like, "Why isn't he prospering?" Like
he's kind of like in a situation that I think Kenyon Martin was in with the Nets, where it's like I feel like Kenyon was like an undersized power forward. His dribbling was sometimes questionable, but he could defend 2, 3, 4s, and 5s.
Right.
And he could create his own shot off the dribble, and on screen and rolls, his connectivity to his point guard got him looks. And I think in the same breath, you look at I don't really feel like Jalen Brunson is going to play the traditional point guard role, nor should he have to. I think he's more of a lead guard in the sense of like a Ben Gordon. I'm not comparing him to Ben Gordon, but as far as like a somewhere between 6'4" and 6'6" combo guard that can facilitate, but mostly is there to score.
Right.
Quigley, I feel like really grew leaps and bounds this season with the Knicks, and I think that if they are able to keep Obi and Quigley together,
listen,
sky's the limit. But also, R.J. Barrett really fills that role where Brunson doesn't have to be a traditional point guard because R.J. Barrett is their LeBron.